have 7:01 actually. Let's watch my clock. Call the meeting to order. If you're able to, please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Seated. And let the roll call show that all councilors are present. The meeting is in order. Any additions or deletions to the agenda?
I have none, Mr. Mayor.
Council? Okay. Any action?
A motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that carries. On to the consent agenda. Are there any items anybody wishes to remove or speak to any further? If there is the ERDC board is, I thought it was a 3-year term, but maybe it is 2, I don't know. Is it 2? Okay. That's the only question I had. Anybody else got anything?
No. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion,
Second.
second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? And that carries.
You see that green?
Okay, if there's anybody here that wishes to speak to the open forum, 3-minute limit, need your name and address, and we do not discuss legal matters. Anybody wish, if you're not on the agenda already. Seeing nobody, we will move on to old business. And I am going to recuse myself from this commission appointment process. I am an appointee for one of the boards, so I'm just gonna let the vice mayor handle this 5.1 old business.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So it looks like we had a lot of interest. We only have one position open, it looks like, that we didn't get a candidate for, which is the EDA. So hopefully we can keep that open, correct, and keep looking for candidates? or
Yes,
is it-
I just wanted to point out, we did actually have a candidate there to fill the position that was open. However, she recently had a family health thing she had to move because of, so that's why it like opened up later. So it wasn't actually open until last month.
Okay. All right, so we'll start alphabetical order, I guess. Well, maybe not.
Yeah, that works.
Looks like we're out of alphabetical order, so. All right.
We'll just,
We'll just start at the top. So we have the Airport Advisory Board. We have 2 open positions. It's a 3-year term, goes until 2028. We have 3 candidates. Jean Stokel, who's here in the audience tonight. Dan Getz and Adrian Feigl. That's Adrian back there. There we go. So I don't know where you guys want to start.
would you like to hear from the 2 applicants that
Yeah.
are present?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
that'd be good. Okay, we'll start with you, Jean. Go ahead and step up to the podium.
I think I've been on the airport advisory board for, I believe, 11 years, and I try to do what's best for the airport and recognizing the city has limitations. I think I've always tried to act in the best interest of both. Keep it brief.
Thank you.
Dan Getz is not here. Adrian? Is it Feigl? Did I say your name right?
You did, thank you.
Okay, you bet.
My name is Adrian Feigl. I'm interested in helping the city grow. I want us to stay a thriving, wonderful community. I want to help out where I can. I looked at all the different boards that were available with openings. I felt that my personal time commitments and what the needs are, the Airport Advisory Board and the Parks and Recreation Board are my interests. I'm also very interested in helping service leadership, developing plans, long-term strategic objectives to help the city in any way I can.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank
Are you interested in serving on two or just one?
I do have the time commitment. I would be available for both.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right. And I know Dan's not here. Dan's been on for how many?
He was, appointed, I believe, to fill a term. Shauna?
Huh? He was asking me a question, yeah.
Dan, I think he was appointed to fill a term,
Yes.
so this would be a reapplication for a full term then.
Yep.
So he's only been on for a partial term.
Okay.
We'll bring my book.
Anybody have any questions or anything you want to?
I'm gonna abstain from voting because I'm related to applicant Adrian Feigl.
Okay. Excellent. So I think Dan, the meetings that I've been involved in with the airport advisory board with our like joint meetings and stuff, I think Dan was a really good addition to the board. So I wouldn't mind seeing Dan stay on. You know, and then we've got Gene, who's been on for a while, so he's got a lot of history. But we also have Adrian, who maybe would come with some new ideas. So sometimes I think that's good to add as a good addition as well, so.
I agree. You can, both Adrian. Well, I know, I don't know Dan, so I can't really comment on that. I did read his, what he submitted. So, Adrian also did apply for the park board as well. So,
Yep.
I'm okay, I'd be okay doing Gene and Dan.
I agree.
Make a motion?
Yeah, you have a motion.
I would make a motion to appoint Gene Stokel and Dan Getz to the Airport Advisory Board.
Second? All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, that carries. All right, moving on to the Housing and Redevelopment Authority. There's nothing going on there. It looks like EDA will hopefully get,
Can we pause just a moment
Yeah.
and So, we are looking for a member, and we did speak with, or two members, sorry. We did speak with the city attorney. It is possible that if one of the counselors would like to sit on the HRA board, they could be appointed to serve on the board. And I think maybe at some point in the future, we might need to look at, and I think the council can do this, serve as the HRA and as the council. So you would convene as the council, as the HRA in a separate meeting, so. Kat has retired. They have not filled her position.
That might explain my communication concerns.
Yes, and from my perspective, just as the city administrator, there is a lack of communication between how the Oaks is operated, works, what they need. It's a federal building or a federal fund, it has federal funding that comes to it, but I'm personally hoping that as we do our scanning project, we unearth more documents so that we have more of a better foundation as to how that relationship got created, and also then having a counselor or sit on the board and or the city council becoming the HRA board itself in the future, I think will help with those. We're not looking to manage the building, but we definitely need to have more communication with whoever is the manager at that facility so that we have a clear understanding of how things are working, which we don't have now. So that's
Two
my,
questions.
that's my 25-cent speech.
The first one, then maybe, or not a question, a comment, I'll connect with you after another time
Okay.
about maybe helping to facilitate with staff and whatever.
Okay.
And where that conversation is going, are you suggesting maybe I go from liaison to on that board? And if so, should I step down from the
I guess my suggestion would be maybe we do the appointment to the HRA at a subsequent meeting, just because this is like, we're springing this idea on you,
Mhm.
and I don't feel like it's appropriate or fair to have you have to make a decision when you just got the thought. And so maybe in 2 weeks, we can formally put it on as an appointment, but we wanted to bring the idea to you so you could noodle it for a little bit, and then we'll put it on as a discussion item.
I'm comfortable with you moving it forward if you want to. It wouldn't be any more of a time commitment for me than being a liaison, so
Yep.
if that's
I would feel a little bit better,
not waiting.
yeah, moving it 2 weeks, just to, again, I think just giving the rest of the council, a little bit
Yeah.
of time to chew on it.
Good.
So,
I do also want to point out, Kat and I had a long conversation today. She has been giving her time to the Oaks past her retirement because they went through budgeting and inspections, and so bless her heart, she has stayed on to help them through that. She's going to forward me the job description and their normal job postings, so as a city, we can help recruit and hire for that position, so you should be seeing that on Facebook, website, things like that, in the near future for a job opening. I think she just got really overwhelmed for a while.
Is it a paid job?
yeah, not from the city's budget.
Anybody else? Okay, so anything on the EDA before I move on?
I don't,
No, I don't have anything additional on that, it's just that we do have that open vacancy. And if anyone who has applied would be interested, that is a more recent opening. And if they would be interested in the EDA board, you can let us know after the meeting or subsequent to the meeting.
Moving on to the park board, we have 2 open positions, they're 3-year terms. We can have 2 from outside the city limits, but they have to be in the 55371 zip code. 1 open seat can be a township resident. We have Carla Vida, who is here tonight, and Ben Henry, I don't see him, and then Adrian. So Carla, would you like to say something?
Good evening, Acting Mayor, City Council members, staff. I've been on the board for a really long time. I think I know every single one of you in a variety of hats for whatever reason in my past. So I used to do planning for parks for many years in my past career, former community development director, former Parks and Rec, economic development, planning and zoning. Probably the only board that I could help you guys on that I don't have a conflict of interest on. That's just my professional career at this point in time. But beyond that, I love the park. So I personally go to every single park at least once a year, every month I try to at least go to 3. And we actively, as a family, go to all of your trails. And I think that I bring a lot of historical knowledge of the parks to the board. But also I try to really mentor the new people coming on because I know what it's like to be new and stumble. And try to help them not stumble so they can be the best they can be to help for the future leaders of our community. And and I think most of you guys know most of my families volunteered for the city in some capacity, either with their Eagle Scouts or other hats. So I just think our family really tries to give back to this community because we love Princeton. So that's all I can say, unless you have any questions for me, Acting Mayor.
I don't, anybody?
Are you a township resident or city resident?
I am not. I live actually right between Mark Park and the fairgrounds.
Okay.
Thank you, Carla.
You're welcome.
And Ben is not here. Adrian, anything else you want to say, or are you good? You're good. Okay. So I am the liaison for the park board, and I would, recommend, I would love to see Carla stay on. I think she does, contribute a lot to the park board. She's got some really good ideas. She's very positive. I think she's a great addition. And, I'd really like to see Adrian get on the board. So those would be my two picks.
I agree. That was your first choice, correct?
Yes.
Be on park board?
Yes.
You wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion to have Carla Vida and Adrian Feigl, appointed to the park board.
I will second. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
I am abstaining again.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. So we'll have you abstain and all in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, that carries. Okay. Planning Commission, one open position, 3-year term. The open seat needs to be a city resident. We have one application. Michael Heselton, would you like to come up and say something? Michael also sits on the park board.
Carla rocks, by the way.
She does. Sure does.
I'm Mike Heselton. I live on 16th Street North, on the north side of town. Like was mentioned, I'm on the Parks Board. Just, if there's no one else applying for the position, I'll step in and do what I need to do for the community. So if there's anyone else that's itching to get in there.
I don't think so.
Yeah, anything else? I'm open to questions or anything like that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Have any questions?
thank you. All right. Someone want to make a motion?
Motion to approve Michael Heselton for the Planning Commission open seat.
I will second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other conversation? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That carries. Welcome to the Planning Commission. Okay. Moving on to the Public Utility Commission, we have one open position. It's a 3-year term until 2028. We have 2 people, Jack Edmonds, who currently sits on the PUC, and then Rick Schwartz, who used to be on the PUC. Jack, do you want to say anything?
Well, I think my application pretty much says what I got to say. I'm just very compassionate with public utilities. It was a really honor when I got appointed to fill, I believe it was Greg Hansen's seat, which I filled and then I applied for the full term and got appointed. Being elected and being on the planning or public utility commission is a coincidence. No, it was not done by design, so just to make that clear. I'm glad to answer any questions if anybody has any.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Mr. Schwartz.
My statement's pretty much the same. I've served on the PUC 3.5 years in the past, and my application's been in front of you twice now, January and tonight. Lived in Princeton all my life. I'm always anxious to see Princeton grow. Along with that, PUC grows with it, and we've acquired different territories that we didn't have before. So I'd like to continue to serve Princeton and make sure Princeton is heading in the right direction. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Well, I'll give my 2 cents. So as far as Jack, he has sat on the board for a few years. He is very passionate about the PUC. I do, however, have some concerns about some upcoming things and a possibility of a conflict of interest. So I think that's something we need to consider. And then as far as Rick, the one thing I'd say that I really like about Rick is He understands the importance and the benefit it would be to change that PUC board to a 5-person board. That's my input.
I'll just add that recently at the PUC meeting, Jack was re-elected chair in the interim of this seat not being filled. And so there is confidence in the other board members in Jack's leadership and participation. But I would also concur with you that, I mean, with Rick's background and interest in the community as well, I would have confidence that he would also be a good leader or member on that commission as well. So I'm kind of torn. I don't necessarily have qualms with either.
Just to note, if I may, I served as chairman also during my 3.5 years. Right now, I don't wear any hats. Politically correct. And I do think, and I've said this very clearly before, I don't think it's fair to the community or to any group that if one person is wearing so many hats, it's not healthy for any group, because you can't give that 100% effort. It's all divided amongst. I think we've all probably served wearing a couple of hats. I just don't think it's fair. I think it also is not fair to the people in Princeton, because it takes away an opportunity for someone else to serve. And I strongly feel that way. And that's how I feel with PUC. I think it should be a 5-person board, not 3. Even though there may not be a lot of applicants there. It's maybe kind of like when Hank Findell and George Frankel served. They were on there for 20, 25 years. Nobody's going to put their application in as long as they're there. So when they were gone, the next session was about 7 applicants, if I stand correct. So just to have those comments.
Erica?
I do also have the same concern that both of you have as far as conflict of interest. I do see the dedication from Jack, and being a former board or commission member, I guess, sorry, coming back is also showing commitment as well. So I'm also kind of in that torn boat.
I'd say I feel the same way. I think Jack's proven that he's able to perform the duties and wear the multiple hats. I do think there's some big decisions coming in with the PUC, and I think it's nice to have Jack there, just with some experience of recent stuff going on. I guess, and I know that Richard Schwartz here also, you have a lot to bring to the table as well. So.
Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Rick Schwartz for the Public Utility Commission.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Yeah, I'll make a second. A motion and a second. Any other conversation? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carried. Board, Rick.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll turn it back over to the mayor.
Do we need to make a motion to table the HRA.
That's a good question.
No, I don't think so.
But it wasn't necessarily on the agenda.
Correct.
Yeah.
We will formally put it on the agenda for the 26th.
New business. Discuss draft policy to establish study session agenda.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we discussed this at the study session last week. I gave you some options, some components that could go into a policy. I attempted to the best of my ability to throw some thoughts onto the paper for your consideration and discussion. I don't officially expect that you'll approve the words as written, but if you so feel so moved, you may do so, but I'm basically looking for discussion and direction. Anything that you'd like to see added or changed. Yeah, that's it.
Were there certain dates for the annual topics? Did we? Or
No.
would that maybe rotate as things might come up, like if someone is new and filling in a term, they might.
Correct.
get a
In
one-on-one.
general, I think you would see the first 3 possibly as kind of the first 3 months-ish of the year, would be my thought. But they could very easily get moved if there was a fairly significant topic that needed higher priority. My plan, as the policy states, is that kind of a month or 2 ahead of time, you would get like a schedule of like the 2 months, so that you guys can chew on agendas like a couple months at a time. That will give staff time to do our research, our homework, and be prepared to present information that will hopefully generate a fruitful discussion and meaningful discussion on the part of, nobody wants to come to a meeting and not feel like they're, getting anything done. So by setting the topics a couple months ahead of time, so for example, probably at the last meeting in November, I would present January and February's agendas for the following year, is kind of in my head how I would see the process working. So.
And I would maybe just recommend also Finance 101 before August, September, when we do the budget stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why they're up front in the kind of the first part of in my mind, the first part of the year.
Yep.
Never hurts to kind of give people a broad overview at the front end of the year. So.
I'm not trying to throw a wrench into anything, but are we gonna do the Finance 101 before budgeting this year?
Yes, I will attempt to. It's gonna depend. Since we have a lot of potentially identified topics for May and June, and there might be some other things that are coming up from an internal discussion about the franchise fee and the utility, the stormwater utility, that I kind of want to get in. I may propose at the March 26th meeting that we move the study session in July from that July 2 date to the 3rd. I have to check with her to see if she's going to have an EDA meeting in July. I think you meet even months or odd months. Anyway, I'm thinking that we would do a study session that 3rd Thursday in July, just so that we're not missing another meeting opportunity. In which case then I could do a couple things. So, I'm not looking for concurrence at this moment, but that was my thought that's been floating around my noggin.
Are you talking about July 12th? Sorry, 16th?
That sounds 2, 9, 16, yeah, that sounds about right.
I won't be there.
Okay, well. Depends on what the topic is.
Anybody else? Did you want action on that, or is that just an FYI?
If you're comfortable with the way the policy is drafted, I will take a motion to approve it.
Yes.
Good. I'll make a motion to approve the draft policy for the study session agendas.
Motion,
Second?
have motion and second, any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. On to the bill list.
I don't have any questions, anybody else?
No, you did not.
I move to approve the March 2nd, 2026 check register containing ACH payment 251971 in the amount of $54,950, and the March 12th, 2026 check register containing checks 90108 to 90126 and ACH payments 251972 to 252008 and 312-20261, 312-20262 in the amount of $313,660.65, and the pay period 5 check register containing checks 26051001 to 26051061 in the amount of $157,884.35.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Administrator report.
We had an airport board meeting on March 2nd. We are working through some issues on funding the taxiway and runway rehabilitation, thanks to the FAA. We're waiting on information from the state and final numbers in terms of what we're going to end up having to fund at the local level. We have the promotion for the Red Cross Sound the Alarm Project. Fred Hiller, who's the volunteer coordinator, was thrilled to tell us that we have our first sign up. So after the Facebook post that went out today. So we think it'll be very popular with the community. And we did end up being able to use the Civic Center because they relocated, or they changed their date for the installation. So they're gonna do the installation on a Thursday with USDP volunteers. I've been participating with the Princeton 250 Planning Committee. That's for the July 4th events. The handbill with the schedule is attached. So I think it'll be fun if you're in town. We don't have any updates on development. Emergency management, staff met with Mille Lacs County Commissioner Reynolds and PSIP manager, oops, I forgot his name, Andy Beckstrom, to talk about the radio simulcast project. We wanted to make sure that this is still a high priority project for the county before we put forth the staff effort to submit for congressionally directed spending requests. 2 requests have gone in so far to Representative Stauber and Emmer's offices. I'm waiting to hear back from the 2 senators to see if they're going to have the same opportunity. We also talked about a backup plan, and on behalf of the council, made it very clear that we feel that this is really an expense that the county is responsible for, but we would possibly participate if absolutely necessary. At the end of February, we had the REP annual meeting at the EOC with Homeland Security, emergency management staff from the state. Emergency Manager Lawrence was in attendance. And then we met with Mille Lacs County. They are going to take on the volunteer recruitment and vetting responsibilities for those, not only in that incident, but in the event that we had another type of emergency, such as like a tornado or something, and we needed volunteers. We want those vetted, those folks vetted, so that we don't have other issues. Audit prep is ongoing. I reinvested some money on behalf of the city. The legislature is busy, but I don't know how much they're really getting accomplished. The evil zoning reforms are back. They've been scaled back, but from my personal soapbox is that they're very annoying. And then there's some legislation relating to the police department. I just attached LMC's summary. They do a better job than I do explaining it. We did our annual or our semi-annual check-in with Mille Lacs County Engineering on March 4th. We talked about their county projects as well as our reconstruction of 3rd Street. And we had what I would call a very pointed discussion about the maintenance agreement and how it needs to be modified. We did do an interview for the police officer vacancy, and we've made a conditional offer of employment, which was accepted. That will be on your next agenda on the 26th. And we are making incremental but forward progress on this county project. So again, I'd like to thank the Public Works staff for helping move a bunch of crap that went down there to die.
Unneeded materials at this point.
Yes, thank you. That was much more politically correct. Good job. And then just upcoming meetings and reminders. That's all I got. Be happy to answer any questions.
Anybody have anything for Michelle?
No.
If not, we'll move on to committee reports.
I do not have one. Didn't have a chamber or a park meeting since last.
Planning Commission next Monday.
It said actually that one will be canceled. There's nothing on the
I
agenda.
guess, yeah, there we go.
So get another month off.
Anybody else?
I do not, I do need to get Barry's email from somebody. I have not been able to get an agenda or get him on the phone.
I
have a cell phone number. but
I have-
I have a cell phone number, but I don't.
I have his email. I'll email it to you.
Just leave a message and you phone a bunch of phones.
Oh, it's very, okay, wait a minute. I have one thing that's, well, it's not really bouncing around. In cleaning the basement, we found this mystery black box,
Oh,
which I promptly took home. I opened the top and there was like a slide carousel on the top. I'm like,
oh.
So I proceeded to take it home to hubby, because he's always interested in that stuff. Well, it happens to be what I would call a promotional slide deck with an accompanying tape, cassette tape, that will automatically advance the slides. And it's got some history stuff.
Well, the audio tells the story.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, so.
Next meeting?
I was gonna take it to Barry.
Oh, fair. That's fair.
But yeah, so, yeah, well, yeah, it's a little complicated to operate, so he didn't break anything, but it was a little sticky to try to get the slide carousel, but it was very interesting, so, anyway, so.
Anything else?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. We are adjourned.